What I'm doing here is I'm simulating a small office reception. So if you've got a business that runs a receptionist with your Wi-Fi, you don't want your Wi-Fi to fall down during a Zoom meeting and so on. You want uninterruptible power, but you don't want to go to the route of installing a full-on off-the-grid system because you might be in rented premises or whatever, or the money's the issue. You can actually get your office off the grid in two easy steps. The first step is you buy the power in the box, and the power in the box is an uninterruptible power inverter, power supply inverter. So in other words, when the lights go off, you won't even see the flicker. Your PCs will stay on, your internet connection stays on, and what it does is this is plugged into Eskom power, the grid over there, through this cord here, and then through your two power outlets here. We're running a multi-plug, and then all that you see here is run off this. So in other words, there's your Wi-Fi, that's your lamp, and those two are your desktop PC. And then what I've done is I've also plugged in a power meter. So all of this has been run through a power meter to get an indication of how much power we are using. And this power, it's using 67 watts now. And when the power goes off, you've got to add to this, the unit itself uses about 30 watts just to run the fan and so on. So in our calculations, we're going to work on 100 watts. We'll get to the calculations just now. And just a very clever thing while we're here, you can see it's got a screen. At the moment, it's telling me that the grid is supplying 238 volts, and the UPS is in turn supplying 238 volts. And you can see here that the grid is on. If you can see, it's quite hard to see this. The grid is on, and the grid is being used to supply the power. Sorry, I'm just trying to get the angle right because it's reflecting. So the grid is supplying the power, and it is charging the battery. So the battery is fully charged at the moment, and this is a nice pictorial view of what's happening. And then once we add a solar panel, I've got a solar panel standing here, a demo solar panel. When you add the solar panel, it's going to give you another little icon here of a solar panel, and you see the solar panel charging the battery and supplying the load. So while we're here, if you want to take this system, the way it is now, will give you power for about 5 hours. So in other words, it'll survive a 5-hour load shedding event just with this. But if you wanting to cater for actual power outages where your power's out for a couple of days, but you still want to run your office, it's a simple matter of getting this is a single 200 watt panel. Now remember, this is 200 watts. When this is in full sun, it's supplying 200 watts, and we're only using 70 plus 30, we're using 100. So this is supplying twice as much electricity as you need for a full 6 hours of the day. So in other words, you could run this all day, and by the end of the day, your batteries will be fully charged. So even when the sun goes down, you've got another 5 hours. So as a simple solution, you've got your power in the box, which at the moment is available at 5,999. I say at the moment because we're having a severe shortage of batteries and inverters and things like that in this country at the moment, and the prices are just going all the time. But at the moment, we've got the prices holding at 5,999, and a 200 watt panel like this, we supply for 3,000 Rand. So literally for 9,000 Rand, you could have a small office off the grid. But phase one, you only really need this. You know, with normal load shedding, your grid is on most of the time, and you just want to cover those 2 hours, maybe 4-hour events. And let me just show you how simple this is. Now, when we say solar, people think, oh, it needs electricians and all kinds of things. This is very, very simple. This is an off-the-shelf 200 watt panel, and we need to make sure it's sized correctly for the unit, but we've done so. And then you literally get these two cables. See, there's your two cables, and they plug in here. Let me just getting close. So you plug the solar panels in here just with two screws. It can't be more simple. You can see here, let me take this away. This is where your batteries. So your batteries are plugged in there, and your solar gets plugged in there, and your grid gets plugged in there. And then you take the power out here. But let me show you the calculations quickly, because I want to take the mystery out of this. So in this situation now, You just stay with me, it's very simple calculations. You're using 70 watts plus 30 watts for the fan and so on. So let's say you assume you're using 100 watts. Now this has got a single 12 volt battery in there, and you remember the calculation from school, watts is volt amps. So amps is 100 watts divided by 12. So in other words, you're drawing 8.3 amps off your battery. Now your battery capacity, this is we sell this with an 80 amp hour battery, lead acid battery, a deep cycle battery. And the thing about a deep cycle is you don't want to use more than half of its capacity. That way you get maximum life out of your battery. If you start using 60, 70 amp hours, your battery's only going to last a few months. But if you're only using 40 amp hours, you're going to get up to 1,000 cycles out of this thing. So let's say, if we don't want to use more than 40 amp hours, so what we do is we actually set the inverter so that when the battery is half full, it shuts off. So it tells you it's empty when you've only used half of the battery. So let's get back to the time. Remember, you're using 8.3 amps and a 40 amp hours. So you've got your 40 amp hours divided by 8.3. This is going to last 4.8 hours. So this setup right here is going to last 4.8 hours if the power went off. And then if you're wanting to upgrade that to, say you need slightly more time here, or you're going to run more than 100 watts, you can add an extra battery and you just double up on all of this. It'll just double up, so you'll end up going for 8 hours at this load, or you can double the load to 200 watts and still get your 4.8 hours, or even higher. It's all a matter of how much power you're sitting with. 48 amp hours that you can use, and it's how you use it. But in this example, to really keep it simple, I've gone for a simple receptionist and keeping your Wi-Fi up and running. And then if you want to take that to phase 2, where you're looking at protecting yourself against these 1 and 2 day power outages, an extra 3,000 Rand will buy you a panel, and you can literally, like I do here, I keep it inside. If I really wanted to, I could take it out there and put it on my balcony and just lay it on the roof. And I did that for a demonstration in one of my other videos, where you just lay it on the roof, and then this is supplying 200 watts, but you're only using sort of 60, 70 or 100 watts. So it's actually keeping your battery fully charged, and you're running with solar power. So I hope that helps you understand how it works. And you want any more information, just come to our website or call me directly. My phone number is, I'm Neil Forster from Power in the Box, and my number is on our website, www.powerintheBox.co.za.